Hi there, fourth graders. Welcome back to Ready, Set, Read. As you know, I'm Miss Graves, and I am so glad you are here with me today. I couldn't wait till today's episode because we are going to learn all about earthquakes and volcanoes. We will look at the ways that Earth's rocks cause destruction to the land through these incredible events. But before we get started, you know what time it is. It is time to gather all the materials that we need to be successful for this lesson. So first, you're going to need your Week 7 Distance Learning Packet, a pencil, and of course, a piece of scrap paper. I will give you 10 seconds to get your materials together so that we can get started. 10, 9, 8, 7, hurry up and get your stuff. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, you got your Week 7 Distance Learning Packet, your pencil, your scrap paper. Let's get ready to learn all about these volcanoes and earthquakes. As I said, today we will learn about earthquakes and volcanoes by first reading an overview and then reading an article called When Lava Flows, a Hawaiian Goddess's Name Comes Up. Afterwards, we will answer questions about the text. I can't wait to get started. This is going to be so much fun. Today we are going to read excerpts from two texts that will provide us with an overview about earthquakes and volcanoes. Then we will read an article about a volcano in Hawaii. This will help us respond to our text focusing question: how can Earth's rocks cause destruction to our land? The great reader strategy we are going to use today while reading is one of my favorites, and it's called visualizing. Great readers visualize or create pictures of what they are reading in their minds. It's almost as if they were making a movie in their heads using the content in the text, their background knowledge, and their imagination to bring the text to life. Today, as we are reading, I want you to visualize or picture in your mind what the author is describing as we read about earthquakes and volcanoes. See if you can make a picture or a video in your mind of what the text says. This will help you better understand how earthquakes and volcanoes impact the earth and people. Here we go. We're ready to start reading, so I'll give you a few seconds now to turn to the first text in your packet so you can follow along as I am reading. Go ahead, find the first reading, overview of earthquakes and volcanoes. Good. And don't forget, you can also use the text features to help you understand the text better, like the captions and the pictures and the bold print. All right, you got your text? Put your finger under the words rapid changes, and I'm going to start reading. Rapid changes. Not all changes to the earth are slow. Earthquakes occur rapidly. They take place when two tectonic plates rub up against each other. The edge of one plate becomes hung up, then suddenly becomes unstuck. This causes a jolt that can be felt far above the Earth's surface. Earthquakes that occur beneath the ocean can set off enormous ocean waves called tsunamis. I certainly can see what that looks like. In my mind, I can visualize a huge, huge ocean wave, and that's called a tsunami. This powerful and fast-moving wave can be quite destructive to coastal areas. The shifting of plates also creates volcanoes. A volcano is an opening in the crust. It allows ash, gas, and molten rock from the mantle to flow through the Earth's surface. In some eruptions, these materials burst forward in an explosion. I can see that in my mind. The ash and the gas and the rocks jolting up into an explosion. Volcanic ash is sent into the air and can be carried miles away by the wind. In other eruptions, lava simply oozes out and flows down the side of the volcano. And I can picture that in my mind as well. Beware of falling ash. In addition to lava, some volcanoes also produce clouds of thick ash. Ash is made of tiny particles of rock and can cause a real problem for airplanes, especially if it gets in the engines. Large volcanic ash clouds can also have a chilling effect on the planet. Because the ash clouds reflect sunlight back into space, they tend to cool the surface of the Earth. And I can picture that in my mind. I can visualize the tiny particles of rock getting in an engine of a plane. That would not be good. Now that we've read an overview about earthquakes and volcanoes, we are going to read this article about a volcano in Hawaii. The article is called "When Lava Flows, a Hawaiian Goddess Name Comes Up." While we read about this volcano and the legends that have been told about it, keep practicing your visualizing skills, making pictures in your mind of what the text says. All right, are you ready? Put your finger under the word Kalawea. Let's start. Kalawea is a volcano on Hawaii's Big Island. This volcano is very active. It has been erupting since 1983. Earlier this month, the eruptions grew more powerful. Kalawea has been erupting lava into neighborhoods on the slope of the volcano since May 3rd. The lava flow has forced people to leave their neighborhoods. In some places, it has burned down homes. A name often comes up when people talk about the volcano: Pele. It sounds like Pele. Julie Woodsey is a resident of a town near the volcano. On May 3rd, a crack in the earth opened on her street. It oozed lava close to her home. Ooh, could you see that? Lava coming out of the street in the street cracking? That was probably scary. Woodsey had to leave the area. You can't really predict what Pele is going to do, she said. Who is Pele? Pele is known as the goddess of volcanoes and fire. She is an important figure in Hawaiian culture. She represents all the elements related to volcanoes, which includes magma, steam, and ash. Magma is a hot mix of melted and partly melted rock. When magma makes it to the surface of a volcano and starts flowing down, we call it lava. Pele is an akua, which some people translate as goddess. But Kili Kanahile prefers to think of Pele as an element. Kanahile is a scientist. She works to preserve Hawaiian culture. Kanahile says Pele does not exist to punish anyone. It is more like she is part of nature. According to local legend, Pele lives in a crater on the island of Hawaii. Creation of land. In Hawaii, Pele means the creation of land, says Pailani Kawaloa. She teaches traditional Hawaiian literature and hula at Hawaiian schools. Pele has two forms. Kawaloa explains, one stays at the crater tending to her fire pit, another goes holo, or exploring. This form wanders around the town near the volcano in the form of lava. That's actually what is happening now. Cracks are open in the town on the sides of the volcano and lava is flowing out. Scientists worry that Kalawele's peak could soon have an even bigger eruption. It would throw huge rocks and ash miles into the sky. Legends of Pele. A legend tells the story of an old woman who asks for food from two girls. The other girl refuses. The girl told the old woman they didn't have any food for strangers, but the younger girl was kind. She shared her food. The woman told the younger girl that strange things would happen on the mountainside. She told her to hang bits of cloth made from bark to stay safe. When the younger girl told her grandfather about the old woman's advice, the grandmother knew it was Pele. The family did what she said. They hung bits of clothing from bark near their home. The legend says that Pele then sent her lava to destroy people who had made her angry. The lava did not touch the younger girl's home. Pele protected her. Now that we've finished our first read, I think we are ready to answer questions about the texts. Turn to the next page in your packet that looks like this. Aha! I see directions at the top. Before we do anything, we always read the directions first. The directions tell us first and foremost we need to answer each of the questions below. We need to use complete sentences and pay attention to grammar and punctuation. And of course, we need to use evidence from the text to support our answers. Our prompt is to describe the process of an earthquake. I remember that the first text of the overview provided information about earthquakes, so let's turn back to the overview. In your packet, you will see this part of the text next to the question to help you focus on finding the answer. Let's take a look at the first page of the overview. Let's reread so that we can find evidence to help us describe the process of an earthquake. Okay, rapid changes. Not all changes to the earth are slow. Earthquakes occur rapidly. This takes place when two tectonic plates rub against each other. The edge of one plate becomes hung up, then suddenly comes unstuck. This causes a jolt that can be felt far above the Earth's surface. Okay. So the text is saying that an earthquake takes place quickly. Two tectonic plates rub against each other, and one edge might get stuck and on the other. If they suddenly get unstuck, that can be a huge jolt in the earth. I've got it. So let me write that down. So I said when two tectonic plates rub together, The edge of one of the plates can get stuck and then quickly move. This causes a big jolt. This jolt is an earthquake. Wow! Did you visualize what it would be like to experience the jolt of an earthquake? What did you see and hear when you pictured experiencing an earthquake? Share your own visualization of what experiencing an earthquake would be like. That would be really scary to experience an earthquake. Now it's your turn to answer the next question about the text. The question is, according to the text, how can volcanic eruptions be different? Remember to go back to the text to find evidence to support your response. I'm going to give you 3 minutes now to answer the question. I hope you went back in the text to find evidence to support your answer to the question. I sure did. I wrote, let's see what Miss Graves wrote here. In some eruptions, lava, gas, and ash explode out of the volcano into the air. At other times, the lava just slowly moves down the sides of the volcano. Take a moment to check your answer. Did you explain how volcanic eruptions could be different based on what you read in the text? You may have included some of the same ideas as I did or added other ways from the text. Give yourself a pat on the back for working so hard to answer the text-dependent questions because you did an awesome job. Now there are just 2 questions left that you are going to answer on your own after our episode is over in just a minute. Find the last questions in your packet. Go ahead, flip the page and find the last 2 questions. Good. For the last questions, you will use the article, who is Pele and what does she represent in Hawaiian culture? And how does the legend of Pele explain the flow of lava from an active volcano? You got that? Great. And don't forget when you answer the questions to use evidence from the article to support your answer. 4th graders, thank you so much for joining me again today. It was so fun to learn all about earthquakes and volcanoes with you. I'll see you later on this week when you are ready to start writing in response to what you read about destructive events that rocks can cause. You'll even have a chance to use the visualizing strategy we practiced for your writing assignment, where you'll imagine you are living in Hawaii. Oh, wouldn't that be great? When a volcano erupts. Wait a minute, not when the volcano erupts though, but Hawaii is a really pretty place. Yeah. In the meantime, do well on answering your last 2 text-dependent questions and continuing with your work this week. See you later. Bye. Wait, and 4th graders, what? 4th graders rock.